जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्याभामा कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्याभामा जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जाम विश्वपाद परम से परवराज कष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्तिवेंत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON founder BBT founder save the whole world विश्व गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय देव तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री कृष्ण रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय श्री नित्य गौरंग की जय विश्व गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय नित्य गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, entitled as The Son of Drona is Punished, text number 12. Parikshito atha rajarsher Parikshitotha rajarsher Parikshitotha rajarsher Janma कर्मा विलापनम जन्म कर्म विलापनम जन्म कर्म विलापनम संस्थाम च पांडु पुत्राना संस्थाम च पांडु पुत्राना संस्थाम च पांडु पुत्राना वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम परीक्षितोत राजर्षेर जन्म कर्म विलापनम संस्थां च पांडुपुत्राणा वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम परीक्षितोत राजर्षेर जन्म कर्म विलापनम संस्थां च पांडुपुत्राणा वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम
परीक्षितो अत राजर्षेर जन्म कर्म विलापनम संस्थां च पांडुपुत्राणां वक्षे कृष्ण कतोदयम
परीक्षितोऽथ राजर्षिर् जन्म कर्म विलापनम् संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां वक्ष कृष्ण कथोदयम्
जन्म कर्म विलापनम् संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां वक्षे कृष्णकथोदयम्
समस्तां च पाण्डवपुत्राणां वक्षे कृष्णकथोदयम्
Synonyms. Parikshitaha of King Parikshit. Atha thus. Rajarshehe of the king who was the rishi among the kings. Janma, birth. Karma, activities. Vilapanam, deliverance. Samstam, renunciation of the world. Cha, and Panduputrana, of the sons of Pandu. Vakshe, I shall speak. Krishna Katodayam, that which gives rise to the transcendental narration of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Suta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and the topics of the birth, activities and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst the kings, as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by sons of Pandu. Please repeat this translation. Suta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of birth, activities and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst kings, as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandu. Purport. Lord Krishna is so kind to the fallen souls that he personally incarnates himself amongst the different kinds of living entities and takes part with them in daily activities. Any historical fact, old or new, which has a connection with the activities of the Lord is to be understood as a transcendental narration of the Lord. Without Krishna, all the supplementary literatures like the Puranas and Mahabharata are simply stories or historical facts. But with Krishna, they become transcendental. And when we hear of them, we at once become transcendentally related with the Lord. Srimad-Bhagavatam is also a Purana. But the special significance of the Purana is that the activities of the Lord are central and not just supplementary historical facts. Srimad-Bhagavatam is thus recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana. There is a class of less intelligent devotees of the Bhagavad Puran who desire to relish at once the activities of the Lord narrated in the 10th canto without first understanding the primary cantos. They are under the false impression that the other cantos are not concerned with Krishna, and thus more foolishly than intelligently they take to the reading of the 10th canto. So these readers are specifically told herein that the other cantos of Srimad-Bhagavatam are as important as the 10th canto. No one should try to go into the matters of 10th canto without having thoroughly understood the purport of the other 9 cantos. Krishna and his pure devotees like the Pandavas are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas, and the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. The devotees of the Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha or topics of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport for this verse. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are hearing from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 12. So the context of this verse is that, as we have seen in the previous chapters, that after compiling the whole Vedic literatures beginning from 4 Vedas, then Upanishads, then Puranas, then Mahabharata, until Vedant Sutra. Still, after compiling so many literatures, the sage Vasudeva was not satisfied at heart. So at that time, when he was Narada Muni came and instructed in the matter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So after getting the inspiration from Narada, Vasudeva has compiled Srimad-Bhagavatam. According to directions of Narada Muni, Vasudeva meditated, and in the previous verses it is said, Anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yoga madokshate lokasya jananto vidvam chakre satvata samhitam. The material miseries of the living entities which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vasudeva compiled this Vedic literature which is in relation to the supreme truth. So that's Bhagavatam, and according to the instruction of Narada, he explained the absolute truth, the supreme knowledge of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna very detailedly. That's what Prabhupada says. The contents of Bhagavatam is, the topics of Krishna are central to this Bhagavat Purana compared to other Puranas, where there are very less description of Krishna's name, pastimes, and other activities. So those are called supplementary Puranas, where very few details of Krishna's pastimes are described, or Krishna's truth is explained. But while in Bhagavatam, the complete knowledge about the absolute truth, and that is how Vasudeva was satisfied at his heart after compiling Srimad-Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama Ki Jai. So now, so these were the question raised by the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, where how did this Bhagavatam, how did you heard this Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami? So in that context, so how then Vasudeva compiled Srimad-Bhagavatam, then further Suta Goswami is explaining to Shaunaka Rishi is that, so after compiling, he did not become silent. He thought he wanted to impress upon his own son. His son's name is Shukadeva Goswami. So even though he is liberated by birth, he was called for hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam by Vasudeva, and even though he was impersonal, he was realized in his heart, still he heard Srimad-Bhagavatam from Srila Vasudeva, because this is more relishing, or this is a more relishable subject than whatever he had, the realization of Brahman realization, because this is Bhagavan realization is explained in Srimad-Bhagavatam. So that's what in the previous 10th verse Suta Goswami said, Atma Rama, still they take to hear the unlimited, or they take pleasure in desire to render devotion service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That because they are attracted to this Bhagavatam, because the Lord in the description in the Bhagavatam possesses transcendental qualities, and therefore they attract everyone, even though including liberated souls. So that's how Shukadeva Goswami was attracted to the Srimad-Bhagavatam study, and he underwent studies under his father. And after that, just like the Shaunaka Rishi asked in the beginning of the second chapter, that how did this Bhagavatam took place, what are the circumstances where Parikshit undertook the hearing from Shukadeva Goswami, how this meeting happened, what is the birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj, and so Shukadeva Goswami he heard Srimad-Bhagavatam from Vasudeva. So now Shaunaka Rishi is trying to explain that the activities of, in this verse, Suta Goswami is explaining that, he is addressing the Rishis. Now I shall begin transcendental narration of Lord Sri Krishna and the topics of birth, activities of, and deliverance of King Parikshit. So before he is describing the actual conversation between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami, he is giving the prelude. How did Parikshit took birth, and what are circumstances he came to the spot where Bhagavatam was spoken between him, Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami. So these narrating those topics, and here Shukadeva Goswami is telling that these are not historical facts, or these are not some ordinary historical evidence, historical incidents. These are all part of transcendental narration of Lord Sri Krishna, because they asked topics about Krishna Katha only, because if they is going to explain about birth of Parikshit and Pandavas retiring the kingdom. So these are all apparently seemingly not connected to Krishna. But even though, because they are pure devotees, they are always thinking of Krishna, and Krishna himself is associating with them, even though they are ordinary human beings in the history. But because they are constantly in touch with Krishna, they are also on the same plane of Krishna. So discussion about these activities, not on mundane platform. So just like we celebrate birthday of somebody born in some here in the material world. So this is not like hearing about birth of Parikshit is not just like an ordinary child's birth, because he is a great devotee. So that's why Sudha Goswami is telling. So these are narrations of Lord Krishna only, and the topics of birth and activities and deliverance of Parikshit, and also the topics of renunciation of the worldly orders of Pandu. So in the future chapters, Sutta Goswami is going to describe these Parikshit Maharaj activities and Pandavas retired timely and all those chapters. After that, the Parikshit Maharaj deliverance. That's how the actual Shukadeva Goswami or Parikshit asks the question to Shukadeva Goswami, and Shukadeva Goswami begins to speak in the second canto onwards. So that is a primary conversation happened between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami. So this is the conversation between Shukadeva Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya. So here Prabhupada explains in the purport that so Lord Krishna is very, very compassionate, and he takes incarnation and comes in midst of the living entities, and he mixes in their daily activities. So this is like a historical fact, but because those activities, what Lord doing with all the living entities when he incarnates, it is actually a transcendental narration. It is called pastime. It is called Leela, because Lord Krishna has taken avatar and is roaming amongst the devotees and performing activities, which is not just like, it is not mere history. It is called in the Vedas are called Leela. So that's pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So we should be, Prabhupada further explains that, so we should not think that only Krishna's birth, Krishna's activity, Krishna's Leelas are transcendental. So I should not hear somebody's birth like Parikshit, what is the connection with Krishna? So we should not think like, because Lord Krishna is strictly associated with them and they are all great devotees of the Lord. So hearing about the activities of the pure devotees is also liberating, is also equal to Krishna's pastimes, or it is actually a part of Krishna Leela. So that's how we should take it, and we should not minimize the value of we hearing about the pastimes of devotees compared to hearing of the Lord Krishna's Leela. So that's what Prabhupada mentions that. So one should not directly go to the 10th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam and think that only that has the Krishna's direct pastimes with the confidential pattern with the Gopas and Gopis. So I will directly go and hear. So one should not take the mistake of directly reading the 10th canto, but one should start hearing about Krishna from the first canto onwards, because in the first and second cantos, the activities of the Pandavas and the Parikshit Maharaj Leela and Parikshit Maharaj's activities are explained. So we should not think that these are all not important, but we should take it as a Krishna Leela and we should hear them thoroughly, and then progressively one can go from first canto, second canto to till 10th canto. So this is the importance of hearing about the pure devotees. He is equally powerful, and the discussions are all on the same plane of the transcendence. So that is the most important point Prabhupada is explaining in this purport. So we should hear about the pastimes of pure devotees. Do not think that this is some ordinary incidents happen. So like this, today we are like celebrating Panihati Chidadahi Mahotsav. So this is also connected to a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So hearing about the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, who is one of the great devotee of the Lord. So that is also equally on the plane of the transcendental plane of the Supreme Lord. So hearing about that pastime also, which is liberating us. So the pastime of Panihati Chidadahi is that. So Raghunath Das Goswami was actually born to a Govardhan Majumdar. Is a very rich family in West Bengal, in Calcutta. So from the childhood onwards, he was very, very attracted to the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. So he was always hearing about Lord Chaitanya and his activities, his Sankirtan movement. So he is always desiring to participate in the activities of Lord Chaitanya, and also he wanted to join the movement of Sankirtan movement, which is started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was always trying to join. Whenever Sankirtan party goes, he will join, he perform the Sankirtan. But his parents were not happy the decision of that leaving the home and joining the Lord Chaitanya's movement. So he was keep trying, but he could not easily come out of the family entanglements, but he was keep trying. So like this, so many times he tried. Then parents sent his army and brought him back. Then they got married him, so that at least if we marry him, he will not leave the house. He will be attached to wife and do household and taking care of his business. But still, after marriage also, he was not showing an interest. He is now same as before marriage. So everything they tried, but the attraction of Raghunath Goswami is to join the movement of Lord Chaitanya was not reducing; it's keep on increasing. So once what happened in the Panihati village, he heard that Lord Nityananda Prabhu has come, and he is with so many thousands of devotees. So they are doing Sankirtan and they are discussing Bhagavad Gita. So he wanted to at least. I am not able to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement immediately. So let me at least participate, have darshan of Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. So he went to Panihati village, and there he saw, along with a lot of other followers or devotees of Nityananda Prabhu, sitting there on the bank of Ganges in the Panihati village. And Lord Chaitanya sat on a elevated platform below the tree, and so the discussion was going among them. So all of the villagers also came, and they are all offering obeisances to Lord Nityananda. And Raghunath Das Goswami reached there, but he did not go in front of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He is seeing a lot of devotees are there, a lot of dedicated devotees are there. I am very, very tiny. I have not even joined Lord Chaitanya's movement. So he offered obeisances from little far distance. So one of the associate of Lord Nityananda Prabhu told, here is Raghunath Das, he has come, but he is offering obeisances from far distance. He is not coming in front of you. So then Nityananda Prabhu told, bring him into closer to me. Then he, Lord himself, went and brought him back, brought him in front to the asanas, his asana, and then why you are hesitating to come close to me? Now I will punish you. Then he immediately Raghunath Das Goswami paid full dandavat, and Lord Nityananda placed his lotus feet on his head. So that is the glory of Raghunath Dasa, got the mercy of Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. So after that, so this is also says that, so in the other place of Bhagavatam, Mahatpada Rajobhishekam. So one can get the shelter of the Lord unless one achieves dust of the lotus feet of the Lord or lotus feet of the pure devotee of the Lord. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu is, Lord also is representing the spiritual master. So Lord Nityananda is the original spiritual master of all the gurus, all the parampara. So now that Raghunath Das Goswami got the dust of the lotus feet of the supreme spiritual master, so he is then Lord Nityananda assured him that we are all going to bless you, that soon you will going to get the admission into the Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtana movement. So after that, so the pastime goes further, that how did Lord Nityananda punished because you did not come closer to me. So I am going to punish you, that you prepare, bring large cauldrons of chida, dahi, and milk, condensed milk and sugar, so many things you mix and distribute to the assembled devotees here. Offer to the Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and distributes. So that's how the Panihati Chidadahi festival happened. So Raghunath Das Goswami, even though he had come alone, but he called his associates, employees, and arranged to buy all these ingredients and prepared in the big mud pots and offered to Lord Chaitanya. And Nityananda offered. Nityananda called internally Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and after that, the festival of distribution of Pani Ati Chidadahi festival was held. And by hearing this news, a lot of the Brahmanas nearing the villages, everybody has come and took the prasadam of Chidadahi. So that is the pastime where when we hear how did Lord Nityananda Prabhu blessed Raghunath Das Goswami, that he soon got free from his entanglement of family life and got admission into the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. So that's the, so hearing these pastimes like devotees performed, how did the devotee got association of the Supreme Spiritual Master, is also as good as hearing Krishna Katha. So that by hearing that, our contamination is removed from heart, we will able to admit, or we will able to get the quality of admission into the spiritual transcendental world. So that's what Prabhupada says in this purport, that so there is discussion about not only about Parikshit and also about Pandavas. So that's what Suta Goswami is telling. I am going to describe about Parikshit's birth, his activities, how did he rule the world, how did he treated the upcoming of Kali Purusha, how did he treat, and how did the god occurs. So all that he is going to describe, and further how he did he met Shukadeva Goswami. And further, before that, he wants to explain about Pandavas' retirement from the kingly world. So that is also connected to Krishna. So he wants to narrate that, and then he is going to describe the conversation between Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami in the further chapters. So Prabhupada says here, so Krishna and his pure devotees like the Pandavas are on the same plane. Krishna is not without his devotees of all the rasas, and the pure devotees like the Pandavas are not without Krishna. So the devotees and Lord are interlinked and they cannot be separated. Therefore, talks about them are all Krishna Katha, or topics of the Lord. So this is most important to understand, that the pure devotees who are actually Uttamadhikari, who are all spiritually elevated personalities, so we should hear, and we should hear about them, we should take guidance from them, you should follow the instructions of these pure devotees who are coming in the parampara, and get connected to the parampara by getting following their instruction, following their teachings, and accepting their rules and regulations, and by taking diksha, initiation from them, we can actually get liberated from this world and become eternally situated in the spiritual world in the association of the Supreme Law. So that is the position of the spiritual master who is in the parampara, who is connected to the parampara, who is the representative of Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. So there is a one wonderful story which describes this what is bona fide guru, or what is if you approach a guru who is not actually a bona fide spiritual master, what is the result? So there is a very nice story explained somewhere. So there is a blind man and cow. So this is the heading of the story. So in a village, one blind man is there. So he actually want to marry in soon. So all the arrangements were made. He met in-laws, and marriage was proposed, and some other date was planned. So he was very, very happy. So he wanted to actually, before the marriage takes place, he wanted to go to their in-laws' house and meet father and is going to be bride. So he wanted to meet them and just wish them or just be with them for some time. Because he was blind, so he started in that route to reach their house, but he forgot, or he messed up with the route, so he is not able to move forward. So he don't know how to proceed further to reach their in-laws' house. So what he did, he was puzzled, he was confused how to go ahead because he is blind. So then he heard some sounds of the cows and some flute. Somebody is singing the flute. So he went near that place and he asked that boy, there is a cowherd boy who is taking care of some cows there and herding the cows. And so the blind man requested, can you take to this village, my in-law is there, so I want to meet them, I want to visit their place. So they will be welcoming me very nicely if I go there. So in that anticipation, he requested. But the cowherd boy told, no, I am busy taking care of the cows here, but I have one solution. So one of the cows whose calf is actually staying in that village, and in that house, this calf is next to that house, what you are looking for, that in-laws house. So what I suggest is, you take the tail of this cow, and this cow will take you to the respective your destination. So then that boy took that cow, which belonged to that village, where her calf is next to the in-laws house. So he took the cow's tail and put it on the hand of the blind man. So because the cow is naturally becomes tensed, somebody holds the tail. So by fearing somebody is trying to pull me or trying to harm me, so that cow got feared and went running fastly. So because that blind man, even though cow is running, he did not leave the tail, because he want to reach his in-laws house and meet them. So because cow is very fearsome, and it started running, and it going to the stones, kicking often, and like this on the path, the cow dragged him like anything, and all his clothes got torn, and blood is oozing out of his face, and it's kicking on him. So his all bubbles came on his face, everything, it's fully bloody. So finally he reached that house where a cow belongs to the shed, and the calf where is staying. But so the next two house, the in-laws god is there. So he did not recognize the person who has come. So he's thinking that he's a thief who's trying to steal the cows from our village. So he had a stick in his hands, and he further bit him very badly. Why are you coming and stealing this cow? Then he is trying to tell, I am not a thief, I am going to would be to your house owner. So why are you beating me? So he did not recognize. His father also came, and he also did not recognize the person. So that's why the moral of the story is that he was not welcomed at the house. Instead, he was punished. This is because he took the shelter of, instead of spiritual master, the bona fide guru, he took the shelter of a cow's tail. So the destination is, even though he reached the place where he intended, but he was not welcome. So that is the most important lesson. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati quoted this story. So he said, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, so unless you have a bona fide Diksha Guru, you will not reach the destination and you will not be welcomed. So unless we have a bona fide Guru and if we follow his instructions thoroughly, then only we get the admittance into the spiritual world. Otherwise, if you follow the bogus gurus, if you follow somebody who is ordinary, who is not pure devotee, Uttamadhikari, if you accept him as Guru, our position will be like the person who took the tail of the cow and reached the place, but he was not welcome. So that should not happen. We should not mistakenly accept anybody and everybody as Guru, but we should take shelter of the pure devotees, that is what Prabhupada is explaining that. So we should hear about the pure devotee and we should hear from them and take guidance from them. And fortunately, we have got the bona fide Acharya Srila Prabhupada, who is Diksha Guru of our ISKCON. So if we take instruction from him alone, then our path back to Godhead is without any difficulties, and we can easily reach the destination and live with full of knowledge, bliss, and eternally we can live in the association of the Supreme Lord. So that is the takeaway from this verse. We'll end with this. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki.